Well, hi everyone, I'm Anthony Caudullo here from Crown Group, and welcome to our next instalment of maximising your investment, but also minimising your risk. Here with me today is Brad Yen from PIP Insurance. Brad, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me in, Anthony.
No problems. We recently held a Waterfall masterclass for our investors there at Waterfall by Crown Group, and it was really good to have you part of the panel there. But one of the things that I really wanted to educate our owners and our clients is how to minimise your risk. And obviously with landlord's insurance, one of the key things people asked is, what is landlord's insurance?
Okay, Anthony. Well, yeah, very good question. I mean, landlord insurance is primarily a financial product that is there to protect a landlord against the inherent risks that they may face throughout a tenancy. No one's immune from the peaks and troughs of life, and quite often tenants face life-changing. They go through life-changing scenarios, relationship breakdowns, job losses, illnesses that may prevent them from paying the rent. And essentially, simply put, the landlord insurance policy is there to mitigate losses that they may face.
So just touching on that, one of the things that we really try to educate our owners is more about with insurance. It's like having a car insurance, and whilst you have insurance on your car, which is one of your bigger assets, it's something that you never want to have an accident. And that's the kind of same type of analogy that we use with landlord's insurance at a certain point too.
Correct, Anthony. Look, like any insurance, it's a bit of a necessary evil. It's there to act as basically a safety net. No one really wants to lodge a claim, but if you do, it's there, and it's there to, as I said, to mitigate any losses. And
so touching on landlord's insurance, what are the type of things that it actually does cover? What are the top three things?
The top three things that a good landlord policy should cover are obviously to protect against lost rents and defaults.
So generally, what is it? How long of a period does a loss of rent occur?
Yeah, so we cover a loss of rent up to a maximum period of 52 weeks. Predominantly, the main areas of cover, scenarios that occur involve where a tenant straightforward defaults their rent, they stop paying for whatever reason, and in that case, in that scenario, we cover up to 18 weeks. Then you've got another common scenario where a tenant absconds, so they simply run off without giving notice. In that scenario, we also cover up to 18 weeks as a maximum, irrespective if a tenant is in a fixed term agreement or a continuing agreement.
So we're talking about the rental element and what that does cover. What about the contents cover? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so with our policy, we automatically cover contents up to $70,000, okay? So what we deem as contents are things like items such as curtains, carpets, blinds, light fittings, any furniture left behind for the use of the tenant, floating floorboards. Automatic coverage, as I said, up to $70,000, and we cover against accidental damage, malicious damage, theft, and pet damage as well.
Right. One of the most common things I get asked from a lot of investors at the same time, Brad, is what's the difference between building insurance, but also what's the difference between building insurance but also landlord's insurance?
Okay, so building insurance primarily is obviously to protect the structure of the building. It also should include coverage for the fixtures and fittings, okay? Whereas landlord insurance is to protect against loss of rents through tenant defaulting with their rents, also to cover the contents as we just touched on before, and also, more importantly, the public or legal liability component. If a tenant was to hurt themselves inside your unit or the investor's unit.
One of the key things that I get asked, particularly with landlord's insurance, and going back to the analogy with car insurance, if you make a claim, or an investor who makes a claim, does their premium go up if they make a claim?
Very good question, Anthony. If an investor makes a claim through our policy, the premium will not go up the following year, so they won't receive that renewal with an increase due to the fact that they've simply put in a claim in the previous period of insurance.
Does it appear any form of history on their part?
Well, it would be noted, underneath their policy details in our system, most definitely. But as I said, it won't affect their premium at renewal time.
So one of the key things, obviously when we're talking about landlord's insurance for any investors is the process times. To me, the big thing for me is as soon as our team or a property manager or an investor puts through a claim, what's the lead time or process time?
Okay, that is a very good question, Anthony. In regards to claims processing, our claims team are extremely efficient in getting claims processed and through to the settlement period. It all comes back to so long as you are able to notify the claims team as soon as possible of any potential loss that has occurred. That way they can instruct you on what documents, because it's all about providing documents and supporting, the supporting documents. In terms of turnaround times, loss of rent claims are settled between 1 to 3 day time frame, whereas damages can, obviously take longer periods of time, up to sort of 2 week periods, 14-day turnaround time, depending on the availability of the relevant trades.
I guess to me, as an investor, when you are trying to minimise your risk, the big thing for us is more about making sure that you're getting that steady cash flow. And if you do know that you have scenarios that are potentially out of our control or your control, and there are circumstances where the tenants or the residents within the apartments have done particular damage or obviously left the apartment with a rezoning, I guess the biggest thing from our part and also our investors' part is more about working through and making sure that we can achieve that rental money that's been lost potentially, or repair that carpet that's been damaged, or repaint that unit as well.
Well, that's right. It's all about mitigating those losses and continuing the cash flow as soon as possible and getting that property back on the market to be re-let, to be as seamless as possible.
Well, on that note, to any of our investors or potential clients, if you'd like more information relating to landlord's insurance, please feel free to reach out to your property manager, or alternatively you can contact Brad from PIP, who can give you more information. We look forward to seeing you at our next instalment, and until next time, thanks Brad.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Hey mate.